Stop. Don't go anywhere too fast. It's time to listen to a Head Over the Footy podcast.
There are a few nerves in the Head Over the Footy studio today because it's the first time we are doing the show in front of a live audience. Now, before I introduce our two special guests, my name's Max Hatzoglou. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to Head Over the Footy. Thanks for putting us in your ears because we got a big round coming up and you're listening to a really good show. We're going to be reviewing the round as we do every Monday. For those that are just joining up late, we've obviously been going since the start of the year, since pre-season, but we review the show early in the week. It comes out on Monday, that episode, and then we preview the next round, and that episode comes out on Wednesday. So make sure you follow us on Spotify and give us a 5-star rating because it's slowed down a little bit, to be honest. We're at 5 stars. You are allowed to give us 4 stars, but we've had 21 5-star reviews, so it's a great start. But let's get into it. Connor Kennedy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Max. It's great to be here, and like last week, there's a little bit of beef going on between the man to my right and I because I've taken his seat this week, and he's really not happy. So we'll dive into it a little bit more later. Yeah,
there's a bit to decipher and all of that. Charlie Gill, welcome, mate. Great to have you again.
Thanks, Hatzo, but I don't go by that name anymore.
Ooh, what have we got then?
Charlie Reid.
Whoa! And you might be able to hear in the background here, we've got our live audience. Thanks to Luca and Joshy for joining us. And we've got our great producer, Nathan, boys, who's been doing a fantastic job. We went to the footy on the weekend as well. We had a ripping time. But let's crack in. What do we got here? We've got the top stories from the round. And we will get into a bit of Harley Reid stuff later, Charlie Gill. But to start off with, Sam Draper, that game, Adelaide versus Essendon, went down to the last second pretty much, and it came down to an umpiring decision. Sam Draper clearly dived on the ball. The umpire saw it and didn't pay it. And that was game. That was the win for Essendon. It was a great win for Essendon. Everyone says they were the better team, but it's as simple as this. And Essendon Adelaide should have had a shot on goal after the siren to win the game, but they didn't because the umpire didn't pay that free kick against Sam Draper. Did you catch that incident, Charlie, and what did you think?
I did catch that incident. I thought that while it probably should have been a free kick based off what's written in the rule book, as my brother pointed out when we were talking about it, it's just an unwritten rule that those frees won't be paid in the last couple minutes of games. So
no, come on, Charlie. It's not enough. It should have been paid. Please tell me it should have been paid.
But the fact is that within our sport, because it's so chaotic and there's so many rules and it's so hard to umpire, there's a lot of things that aren't, written in fine print that sort of exist on the margins in terms of what you can do. An example of that with an umpiring decision is when a player thinks that it's touched and they take the mark and they make a move that would usually be paid as holding the ball when a player tackles them. The umpire doesn't call it because they factor in the fact that the player thought they'd taken a mark. I'm pretty sure that's not in the rule book, but it's an unwritten rule of the game. So this is another unwritten rule at the moment. It's that in the last 30 seconds of games, you're allowed to pull in balls into packs and have that scrimmage. It's how Collingwood won a premiership last year. It's an unwritten rule. And if you want to change an unwritten rule, that's fine. But we don't have to talk about the Draper decision as if it's like, it's that decision itself. That isn't a problem. The problem is the fact that there's an unwritten rule.
Come on, Charlie.
Let me jump in here because this is an absolute disgrace to me. No, I'm serious. This is a disgrace. And it's happened again. This is about twice in 3 weeks.
What Charlie's saying or what happened on the weekend?
Teams losing the game because of some ridiculous umpiring decision within the last minute of the game. This happened within seconds.
It wasn't that ridiculous in the AFL.
But he dived on it, Gill.
Yeah, but did the AFL say it was the wrong decision?
Yes, they did. They released a shocking statement, in my view. They said it was the wrong decision, but in the moment and the process that the umpire took to make his decision, that was correct.
So in the moment, the umpire thought that one of the Adelaide players had kicked the ball under Draper.
Yeah, no,
and that was. But this is a disgrace, and this brings us back to the captain's challenge topic that we brought up a few weeks ago. Whether you want to do that or not, but we can't keep having this.
I think that
don't umpire the game differently in the last 2 minutes than the rest of the
No,
game.
absolutely
it's an
don't.
absolute disgrace.
I
Charlie
agree, but I agree, Connor Kennedy, except that this isn't a new thing. This is how Collingwood won a premiership here. It's how Carlton won our finals last year in those close games. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but I'm saying that to pretend that it's suddenly become a thing in the past couple of weeks is a complete fallacy. Like, this has been the case.
I never pretended that it's suddenly become a thing, but if it's always been a thing, let's stop it now.
Okay,
just because
agreed.
it's always been that way doesn't mean we have to keep putting up with
I
it.
agree with you on that point, except I think that this whole incident is an example of why a captain's challenge would not be a good idea, because the fact that the AFL's already admitted that there's that murkiness in the umpire's decision, technically it was the wrong decision, but they're happy with the umpire because he thought that in the whole, storm of limbs there, it was understandable he'd come to that, conclusion. What I'm saying is that it's so chaotic that it's clearly a kind of something that you can't really judge. It's not like that could go upstairs and then a third umpire could say, yeah, that's ball.
Because I think it's exactly like that.
But the AFL isn't even saying, yeah, that's bull.
No, they are.
Yes,
they're
they
saying,
are.
yes, we made the wrong decision.
Yeah,
they're
not saying that.
We forget the umpire because in the time he thought it was who was given, but that's exactly why if it was reviewed with a captain's challenge, then it would show clearly that the right decision would have been holding a ball, and Adelaide would have had a kick for goal.
I don't think the captain's challenge is feasible at all in the AFL.
Look, I think in that situation it'd work
honestly,
fantastically.
I think one challenge per match. And I think it would work similarly to the NBA, where teams don't want to use it until the dying minutes, regardless of how bad a decision is earlier in the game. Save it for when it really matters, if it's going to change the game in the last few minutes, because we've seen already this year a few instances of ridiculous decisions.
That would be an awful evolution of the game for it to end. For it to go from this sort of beautiful contest where it's so random and you never know what's going to happen in the last couple of minutes, to suddenly we've got this looming spectre of, we know that a team is going to challenge in the last 5 minutes. They're going to challenge some sort of decision. We know it's going to happen because they're going to want to use it and take advantage of it. And so we're going to get to the last 3 minutes of a really tense game. Everyone's so enveloped, and we just know there's going to be this decision, and it's going to distract from the play itself and the beauty of the game.
I think it'll add to it.
Let's look at other sports.
You think it'll add to it, and that's just a complete difference between our opinion that we're just going to have to come to terms with, because as you said on this podcast, you think your favourite parts of tennis and your favourite parts of cricket are when they have the Hawkeye come in and when it's DRS. And I say fair enough, but my favourite part of sport is the sport.
Yeah.
Okay, but how are we going to come to terms with this?
Connor, I will say VAR in soccer has been a shambles. So there's been sports where it's come in, technology, and it's ruined the game.
Okay, so make it good. If it's shit, we don't want it.
The process of how it all works.
Yeah, and right now, the goal review system is shit.
Exactly.
It is a disaster this year. It's an absolute disaster, the goal review system this year.
In what sense?
I wouldn't say there's been something.
They're reviewing all sorts of unnecessary goals. They're holding up play all the time.
All right. Okay. So the fact that you think that, don't you think that means that it would be quite hard and probably not a good use of resources to spend time working on a captain's challenge system when we can't even get a goal review system?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely not, question. Because it would be one per game, and it would only be when a team decides it to be. Not
but it would
the
be far more.
It
would be far more complicated in terms of making those decisions, because you'd be making decisions about holding the ball and all these really complex decisions. It's different to sort of just goals, that whether it gets touched or whether it hits the post or not, which are concrete things.
Look, we're going to have to agree to disagree here, because Max wants to move on. But
we got some big other stories to talk about.
We can finish this discussion later, either verbally or physically. I don't mind.
All right. Yeah. We'll have a nice chat in the car park.
Look,
okay.
All right. Good. Just to finish on this, the one thing I'll say is the statement the AFL released saying the umpire thought this, and in review it was wrong and it should have been paid. I don't care what the umpire thought. He stuffed that up, and that's it. Like, let's just make it clear. And they're so protective of the umpires. They're allowed to make bad decisions. There needs to be an acceptance and a general thought in the AFL circles, within fans, within every level of it, that umpires will make bad decisions, and it's completely normal. Let's not be afraid to say that umpire made a bad decision. They make bad decisions. That's fine. It's not like you're hurting someone by saying it's a bad decision. That's just the new level.
Umpires are scared to make the calls in the last couple of minutes that are going to decide games. They need to have the courage to do it. Right now, they don't.
Yeah. Well, let's move on, boys, because Collingwood had a good comeback, and I think they are genuine premiership contenders now. They defeated a good Port Adelaide team, and they are back. We got every single reminder of 2023, and Collingwood in that game. They were down by more than 30 points in the first quarter, and they came back and won. And they won by 42 points.
Well, me and Connor have just shared a glance there because as much as we tend to disagree with each other, we can unite on the front that Hats is just... He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Look,
honestly.
I think this is one of those claims that's almost as ridiculous as what you said last week, that Brisbane, after being 2-3, were now in contention for being the best team in the league after suddenly beating Melbourne. Now, this is another topic because they've just lost to Geelong this week, which is it's a horrendous call from you last week. But look, I think, what are Collingwood now? What are Collingwood? 3-3?
3-3.
3-3, okay.
But Connor, you can't... Like, there's so many teams. My point is Collingwood's in it, Brisbane's in it, Geelong's in it, Sydney's a chance, GWS is a chance, Carlton is, Port is, Melbourne is. I think I've mentioned 8 teams there. Freo, they were in contention not long ago. They just lost to West Coast, so that you can put a line through them. But my point is there's no team that you can confidently say that they're going to win the premiership. It's not like Richmond in 2019.
I agree with you. It's a very open-ended year, and I don't think that you necessarily put a line through Freo just after one bad loss. I mean, the Eagles have won 2 on the trot now. And
they got that good player, Harley Reid.
2 in a row. Who's that?
We'll get to him.
We'll get to him, but
we're almost there.
But look, it'll be interesting to see how Freo are going to bounce back from this. But I completely agree. It's an open year. Collingwood, we're still going to need to see a little bit more from them because getting into a position where they're 30 points down in the first quarter isn't too impressive either. And talking to you and other Collingwood supporters that I know, you guys thought you were done for in the first quarter.
Well, West Coast were also leading against Sydney. Geelong, they've been good, but everyone's worried about, they're just too young.
Geelong haven't lost yet, so
I know.
They're the only undefeated team now, aren't they? So
every team's got a little flaw, so you can say it like that's why I just think it's so open at the moment, and there's a lot of teams in contention. But let's move on because Harley Reid, Charlie, your man Harley Reid, all right, you're onto him. You've been onto him for a while. You were onto him that much to say that he was a better player than Nick Dacos. And
what I said was...
He's showing that, as we spoke about last week, or a few weeks ago, we said who's going to be a better player overall after their careers. And you said Harley Reid. And that's looking the goods now.
Thank you, Max. I didn't say, I guess, at the time that I thought Harley Reid was already a better player because he'd played a couple games. I just thought that certainly by the end of their careers, Harley Reid would definitely be considered a greater player than Nick Dacos because he's got the word that was a point of such contention between me and Connor.
Which, by the way, you staked your life on it, and then you said you'd leave Harley Reid in your will with no one else. So I just want to add that there.
Well, yeah, I did say that, and I did stake my life on it, and I think I took it back because then I got scared because I thought that you were actually capable of carrying out the assassination if it came to it. But I think that, I said that, 3 weeks ago, and he's now, stiff arm Dustin Martin, thrown Nat Fyfe on the ground, one best on ground, is just the absolute Prince of Perth.
Yeah, he is.
Look,
he's amazing.
To be honest, I haven't seen too much of him. Obviously, he's an absolutely wonderful player, but as a casual fan, I'm a little bit annoyed at the moment because all I see from the AFL is Harley Reid.
It's justified.
There are so many other great players in the competition, and I just looked at the AFL's X page, their Twitter page, and their biography on that page is literally Harley Reid fan club.
Yeah.
Give me a break, please. Okay. Every second post I see on Instagram is Harley Reid.
Well, Connor, it's been literally, 24 hours or a little bit longer since he won, so, since the Eagles won. So
Since he won?
Well, he was a big part of it.
Your man?
Yes,
because before the show, you said explicitly that we can only refer to Harley Reid as your man now, so you want to take all the credit for him.
I did say that before the show. You weren't supposed to mention it on air, but thanks for throwing me under the bus. If we could refer to Harley Reid with your man before it every time, but only if you're talking to me about him, that would be wonderful. Well, but my man Harley Reid, he was key to the win. And what I'm saying is it makes sense for the AFL to sort of celebrate that. Everyone, he's a phenomenon.
Okay, so here's a question for you. What would you be willing to give up as a Carlton supporter to get Harley Reid to your club?
That's an interesting one. I hadn't thought about that. I would give up our next 4 first rounders.
any all right.
If we could
draft picks out of it, what players would you?
Could. That's not a joke.
What players would you get rid of?
We got.
Do you think that's a joke? It's not a joke.
Just thinking on the spot, Patrick Cripps is
Oh, here we go. That's a
So
good
we've got
call
a
from Luca.
question. If you can't hear it from the audience, he's asked, would you swap Patrick Cripps for Harley Reid?
Connor again.
Because
Hijacking
Patrick
host
Cripps-
duties from Hatzo quite
Well, he
subtly
wasn't.
there.
I clearly saw that he was forgetting to repeat the question.
No,
for
I was
the
about to
audience.
repeat it,
Yeah.
mate. Hey,
Oh,
but
no.
it's a good point from Luca because Patrick Cripps is from Perth. So,
He's actually from, I think, a town a little bit
yeah.
northwestern,
WA.
eastern or south.
It could work though, Charlie.
Probably not Western,
What do you
but-
think?
If I'm the Eagles, I'm not doing that in a million years.
Well, I would because Patrick Cripps, how old is he?
I'm not doing it if I'm Carlton or if I'm West Coast because Cripps is more valuable than
29.
Reid now. Cripps is more valuable than Reid now.
Don't be
We're
afraid.
in contention.
Don't be
So
afraid to say you want to do the trade.
Just
I know
relax.
you love your own Cripps.
Hey,
Relax.
just settle down over there, buddy.
Relax.
Yeah, I know, but he's only saying this.
I actually agree with him here. No, if I was Carlton or West Coast, it's not a smart trade right now because West Coast are building for the future. Carlton want to compete right now. Cripps is more valuable to them right now
Thank
and
you.
what he means to the club. And Cripps is reaching the end of his years. I mean, he's got a few good years left in him, but West Coast want to be really competitive in 5 years for the next 10 years after that.
But Harley
So-
Reid's already better than Cripps.
What do we think about this, Charlie?
I don't think Harley Reid is better than Cripps. I think
Oh,
that
he's gone all cold on him. He's gone all cold on him now.
All
Well,
there's
hold on. No, I
chance
haven't.
I'm referring to
No,
him
I
as your
haven't.
man after this.
No, I haven't. I mean,
Oh, we've caught you out of here.
you have not caught me
You
out
are
in the
going
slightest.
red.
You have been caught in a little lie here, Mr. Gill.
I'm neither going red nor have I been caught in any kind of web because you think that me saying that Reid isn't as good a player as Cripps is somehow a judgment on Reid. All I said was Reid was better than Dacos, which he is.
No, I'm being harsh. I'm only just stirring you up. But it's actually a good question because Harley Reid is playing to the standard of Patrick Cripps, if not better, at the moment.
Okay.
Based off the last game,
What
which
you-
is a bit of a silly thought.
What you're doing is very clever. You're trying to get me to temper my Harley Reid sort of fanfare by comparing him to my glorious King Patrick Cripps, because of course, you know, that's a crazy comparison to make between Cripps and Harley Reid. As I would say, it's a crazy comparison between Bontempelli and Harley Reid. Maybe even Errol Goulden and Harley Reid. Harley Reid has played 6 games. I'm just saying that I'm forecasting a career of intense greatness for him.
Okay, we've talked about it enough on this show.
We have.
Can we move on?
We have.
Yeah, well, just before
Seriously.
we move on, are there any other good
I didn't bring
AFL
him up.
players just as good as Patrick Cripps that are from WA playing in Melbourne teams?
That's a good question. Who's from WA?
No,
Shai Bolton.
but we
Shai
do-
Bolton is from
Shea Bolton, yep.
We do
From
know
Western
the
Australia.
opposite, though. We know our man Caleb Sarong is an originally a Victoria boy, and he's over in Perth at the moment. So
He loves it though.
We'd love to bring him home.
We would love to bring him home. But
To which club, Connor?
Well, look, I'm still upset about this because he was going to come to the Swans, and he'd had talks with John and Buddy before he got drafted, and then we shafted him for Dylan Stevens.
that's
and
huge.
he's now at North Melbourne. He did absolutely nothing for us, and our team with Caleb Sarong would have been just disgusting. So, yeah.
well, that's a good shout.
Disgustingly good.
Yeah, disgustingly good,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
And of
yeah.
course, we lost our best player, Jordan Dawson, as well, to Adelaide. And so you can imagine the Swans right now with Dawson and Caleb Sarong. It wouldn't even be fair. We would do a 3-peat twice, a 6-peat.
We like to get silly here. You got to be good at reading our sarcasm, but most of the time we're serious.
I'm deadly serious. No, I'm not joking. We'd win 6 years in a row if we had Caleb Sarong and Jordan Dawson, like we should have.
This is an
Yeah.
uninteresting hypothetical for our listeners.
Okay, let's move on.
Tipping, boys. It was a pretty poor round of tipping, it's fair to say. I think I got 4, but that's a pretty good score for this round. I reckon the average would have been 3.
If you don't mind
8
saying so
games.
yourself.
No, well, they were what? I missed that.
You called your own score there a pretty good score.
Yeah.
You're sitting,
mate,
what,
I'm happy
50th
to
on the
pump
ladder?
myself. I'll pump the tyres up if I need to because I've been poor this year.
Yeah,
My
I mean,
tipping's
yeah,
been shocking.
yeah. 4's a great result for you,
Yeah.
actually.
Well,
You take what you can get, but
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I'm just looking, and most people got 4. So
yeah, I got 4 this round as
yeah.
well. so.
Charlie, yourself, you're a bit quiet there, mate. Did you get 1?
I don't know how many I got, but who did you tip? Like I tipped the Dogs and I tipped Essendon. So I got those 2 under the belt. But then I
Well-
tipped Brisbane.
Fucking lucky. That's why you were defending the umpires about the Essendon call with Draper.
Yeah, true. Anyway, we won't go back there.
We
hey,
won't.
but boys, this is what tipping's about, right? And Mort's meets tipster of the round. This is the beauty of it. You can have a terrible round. You can not even enter your tips one week, and it doesn't matter because the following week you're in contention.
You could say that,
for the $10 Mort's meets tipster.
It's
of
very
the
hard
round.
because tipping 9 out of 9 is rare.
Yeah,
The
but
same
you
way
don't-
that Mort's Meats might provide a beautiful, rare steak.
Oh, you didn't know where you were going there. You
was
were
trying
struggling to find a piece of meat.
I was trying to.
You were struggling to find a piece of meat to describe.
I was somehow trying to, bring Mort's Meats and football into the same sentence, but I obviously failed. So apologies.
Yeah. Well, it's you can have a really good week and you
I'll
can have
think
a
about
really
it.
bad week. And
I'll think about forgiving you. Sorry, yeah, go on. But who's the Mort's Meats tipster of the round?
well, before we get into that, we got the Mort's Meats tipster of the round from last week in the studio. Josh
Well
Bayless.
done.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes, Joshy. Thanks, mate. Thanks for the kind words. Well, oh yes, I had to buy. I had to get Mia Shortis a drink because for her prize, Mort's Meats tipster of the round.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Well
that was
done.
from that. She was the first ever one to win it. So I had to pay her out, which
That's
I
a
did.
great effort. Good.
And
So you had to, and then
Joshy Bayless is asking for his payment because there's a bit of controversy here.
Hatza has absolutely stinged our man Josh in the back here, so that's
Well-
another story in itself. But come
Well-
on, I'm dying to know who was tipster of the round
No,
this week.
I don't even
Go,
know.
don't-
No, you didn't even know the story with Josh. So he texted the page. He was about 2 quarters too late. You got to text before the start of the first game of the next round.
No, that's rubbish. I'm putting in a complaint, mate.
But Joshy, you might not be able to hear, but he's just said that's rubbish, and he'll be putting in a complaint. Now I'll give him. I'll make a concession.
Who
We're
handles
gonna
the
pay him
complaints?
out.
Who handles the
It
complaints?
goes through
here?
a department, goes overseas, and they deal with it.
Right. So you outsource it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. So hopefully his complaint will be handled swiftly, but
But no, it's
never
already
know.
been handled, and Josh will be getting paid. So
Okay.
well done, Josh, for winning Mort's Meats Tips of the Week last week.
here we go.
But this week, he only got 1. It was the second worst score behind Benji, Big B3NJIZ, who only got 0.
Only.
So bad luck to Benji C.
Damn. Way to ruin his night.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, the Mort's Meats Tipster of the Week for this week is, for the second time, Harriet Shelton 1. Well done to
Wow.
Harriet.
Well done. Well done, Harriet. Well
to
done.
Harriet. So that's the second time she's won it, and we'll test her out here, boys. I don't know
Did
if
she
she's...
claim her prize the first time?
I don't think she did. I don't think she did off the top of my head. So
Right.
the budget's looking good here. We might get $10 credit. Oh, we always give a shout out to the person that's leading the tipping. And Connor Kennedy, you're in third. A special mention to you. Well done, mate. But
Thank you very much.
Garage mate Chan Mayorm, he's on 40 and he's number 1. One ahead of Crows Clowns, who's Henry Waters. He's on 39. You're on 38 alongside Charles Smith.
I want to know what the prize is for the number 1 tipster at the end of all
Mate,
24
go to our
rounds.
Instagram page, mate. Bad luck.
Well, I'm with you right now in person. Can you just tell me and
You
tell
should
the
know
listeners
already.
to the podcast? Can you tell the listeners?
It's $100 plus more.
It's coming my way, mate. It's coming my way.
All right, boys, that's good. What else is happening? And let's introduce our man. Get in here, Gusty. We need you in here, mate.
Come in.
Get in.
The live audience is working well, Max. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Now, you two faced off on the weekend.
Give me this.
Yeah, get him. Swap seats. Swap seats. Swap
just-
seats. No,
just
Connor,
come
you
close.
swap.
All right, fine.
Charlie, talk us through it, mate. Talk us through it.
So it was a beautiful day at Ramsden Street Oval in Clifton Hill, and in the 3rd Division, Fitzroy were facing off against University Blues, a team that I played for previously. So I knew some of the characters.
Reversing the hippies.
Some of the characters donning the jumper, but there was one specific one who I had my eye out for, and that was the man sitting on my left with his
Luca.
Beautiful
How
blonde
would you rate
face
Charlie's game
shining
out of 10?
at me from centre half back.
No, Charlie, I've always said it, natural footballer.
Yep.
Hold on, can you
he'd
just
be the first to say it himself as
could
well.
you're a bit far away from the mic. Could you just bring that closer and just say that one more time?
He wants to make sure everyone knows it. And
Did you speak to him during the game at all?
Yeah, funny story. I was saying, put your fucking head over the footy.
Oh, that's great.
And then-
That's good.
And then I kept saying, number 59, put your head over the footy. And
Yeah.
then his teammates thought I was trying to like rip into it.
Oh no!
And they're
Yeah.
like, mate, you're up by 6 goals. It's the third quarter. Just so relax.
Well,
And they're like, just leave it alone. Just
Luca was at centre half back, and I was in the midfield, but I was rotating forward when I got tired, and just had to play on someone a little bit easier. So no, I really wanted to play on Luca because it was such a great opportunity, given we're such close friends, and we were probably on the wing, and the ball came over. There was a kick. It was obvious what was going to happen. Luca ran off me, didn't take the mark. The ball spilled out onto the wing. I gathered, took a bounce, ran about 15 metres, delivered the ball inside 50, kicked it to a player who kicked the goal.
What about
yeah.
in the second quarter where we had a chase down in that pocket?
That's true. I almost kicked goal of the year. I'm not even kidding.
No, I had you covered. I tackled
I know.
you.
Yeah,
You tapped it along.
Yeah, I know.
Can I just say, it's only a matter of time before we hear the Cody Waitman story, because I don't think we've heard it live on air before, and now might be the time, Max.
Yeah, because Cody Waitman, he kicked 6 goals on the weekend. I was at that game.
Charlie, have
He
you
was
ever
on
played
fire.
against
Oh,
him
no,
before?
he kicked 4
I
goals.
did play against him, Halebury game, and he kicked 3 goals at half time. And hold on, let me finish the story, Luca.
Luca loves
I
his
was
story.
I had to sort of find my identity in the team because I was on the outskirts of it, and the coach at the time said, "Why don't you try and shut down Cody Waitman?" So I did, and he didn't kick any more goals after half time. He kicked 1. So yeah, I shut him down. We lost by 155 points. But that's my Cody Waitman story. But I didn't bring it up. Connor
Now,
did.
Charlie,
Listen, we've heard this story probably 72 times now, Max.
Did someone just mention Cody Waitman? I didn't hear.
hey, just before we finish, Charlie,
No, I just want to say
yeah,
it was a grappling match. We had a player kick 10 goals. Shout out to Dowsy.
yep.
Yeah, 10 goals.
He was
but
great.
At the end of the day, it's thirds VAFA football. So we're not playing the highest standard. I don't think we should
definitely are not playing the highest
Luca,
standard.
now I want to address on the team sheet your name. What's your name?
My name on the record,
Yeah.
Antonio Luca Michael Justi Pederick.
Wow.
That is an argument against not putting names on the back of jumpers like they've been suggesting we do in the AFL. Your name only. Imagine that.
It causes me grief, don't you
Yeah.
worry.
Yes. Well, that's
No, it
a
was
handful
good,
for the
but
manager.
I have to say, I'm not looking to stay there very long in the thirds.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Trying to move. I've changed clubs.
Have you got a message to Guy Martin?
Guy Martin doesn't know my name or who I am.
No! This is going to get back to him. I'm looking forward to
Well,
this.
I don't know who
So
Guy
you're
Martin is.
He's the coach of
who is
Uni
that?
Blues, mate.
Oh, okay.
Your old club. You played there last year. You don't know Guy Martin.
I played there 3 or 4 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll run you down. I've changed clubs from Old Geelong, which was my school club.
Great place. Como Park. Great
Quite
club.
happy there. And then I've made the big decision to move to Uni Blues because I got some friends there.
Yeah.
Thought I'd be playing with them,
Life story.
with the friends. But turns out the quality's a bit better at the Blues, and I've been stuck in the threes.
Oh no.
I reckon I've bloody given one of my mates a high five, and that's about it for the whole season. Haven't seen him.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So you're gonna have to try and get up to the 2s.
Yeah, it's not going too well.
Oh no. He might be back to Geelong. Old Geelong. He might
Maybe.
be back there.
Yeah, that's the local footy segment for you.
Yeah. Brilliant. All right. Well done, Luca. Great performance, mate. Charlie, it was great to have Gusty on then, but we missed one major point in the game, and it was the fact that you guys lost by a whopping 155 points. Explain that one.
They had a player who was. They had 2 players who were amazing. One kicked 10 goals, and that was the difference. I mean, this isn't a press conference. You know,
Fair enough. I'm not going to put you under the hammer here. So, All right, fair enough. Well, you need a key defender, it sounds like it, because
We
apparently
do.
this guy, he was
He's
tall.
an amazing player. Yeah.
Get me in.
Yeah.
Get me in.
He just asked for a spot. Here he is, Connor Kennedy, mate. Take him. You're a bit small though, mate. Are you tall enough?
Mate, come on. Of course I am. How tall is this bloke?
Do you reckon you're a key defender?
Yeah, I used to play that.
Of course.
Centre half back.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
There you go.
I
yeah.
did.
There you
No
go.
worries.
There
I'll
you
handle it. I'll
Charlie?
shut him down like
Feed
Gilly
it back.
shut Cody Waitman down, apparently.
Yeah. Feed it back to your coach, Gilly. But let's move on now. And I want to talk about Scott Pendlebury. He's not far away from reaching 10,000 touches.
Yeah.
Okay? He's going to reach 10,000 touches. Never happened in the game before. It's a big moment.
Looks like it's going to happen on Anzac Day, doesn't it?
Yes, yep. Robert
How many does he need?
Robert Harvey, Boomer Harvey. They were they had 9,600, 9,200.
If
Kevin
I'm Brad
Bartlett,
Scott-
Gary Ablett, they all had around 9,000. This is a huge moment in the game. And I want something special to be made of this. I want a big deal to be made of it.
I'm telling you what should be made of it. I think Brad Scott should say to Sam Durham, or the best tag that Essendon has, I don't know why I picked Sam Durham, but some sort of player like that, go to Scott Pendlebury and do not let him get a touch.
Well, he only needs about 5 more, I
That's
think.
what I'm saying. Imagine if an Essendon tagger
Well,
could
yeah.
keep Pendlebury to less than 5 touches.
Yeah.
That would be an
Yeah.
amazing sight.
That would be cool.
That
but
would be. But seriously, of course we want to see it happen on Anzac Day. On the biggest stage.
to celebrate
the
Pendlebury's
second
achievement.
biggest stage.
Yeah, that,
I want the game to stop. And this is what happened with LeBron when he scored 10,000 points. Is that
Yeah.
right?
I don't know.
40,000, sorry.
Come on.
He surpassed, he broke set the new record for the most points in the NBA. Isn't that right, Joshy boy? Yep.
Yeah.
Who did he pass?
Yeah, he passed him a while before
Yeah.
that though, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, sure. I don't.
So when that happened, the game stopped.
I don't
And
think the game needs to stop.
No, I think it does.
I don't think it does.
I don't
And
think it does. It's not like Buddy kicking 1,000 goals.
Yeah.
It's 10,000 disposals.
It's not that good, you know.
It's good though.
It's good.
What's the difference between disposals and goals? There's a difference,
Oh,
but
come
disposals is
Come on.
Connor,
You can't
disposals
serious.
is big though.
It's not that.
It's not like kicking 1,000 goals.
No, it's not.
Give me a
But this is
break.
10,000 disposals, the most ever in the game. This game's been going for a long time.
Look, I think it's awesome. But I don't think people need to,
Yeah, but
run
here's
on
the
the
thing.
field like they did with
No,
Buddy's
I'm not saying
1,000.
run on the field, but let the game stop.
Can I tell you
And
this?
round of applause.
Buddy-
The whole stadium clapping.
Buddy kicking 1,000 goals is a lot more impressive than Pendlebury getting 10,000 disposals, because we're in an era where goals are harder to get and disposals are easier to get. That's why Buddy's is celebrated like that and Pendlebury's won't be.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
100%
I agree.
right. But also, Max, like, how are you going to... People in the crowd aren't going to know when his 10,000th disposal
serious?
actually is. Like,
Are you serious?
Well,
Everyone knows it.
maybe, but they're not going
Everyone
to stop
knows.
the game like a goal. Like,
No, I'm not
when it's-
saying people run on, but I'm saying
Yeah,
that
but
they
you
shouldn't
want the
just be
crowd...
like any other touch.
You just said you want them to stop and a round of applause.
Yeah.
But, like, the game's going to be flowing. You're not going to, like... It'll be the heat of the moment. And a disposal is when he gets rid of the ball.
next break in
So
play.
then there's going to be something.
the next
you know?
breaking play.
Yeah, that makes imagine like
No, the next breaking play. I just want it to be recognised, celebrated. It's not like any other touch. It's 10,000 touches.
I hope it's out in
never
the full
happened in the
kick.
game. It's the first time they're going to be surpassing 10,000 touches. Let's celebrate it. Or you
I'm
guys
sure
going to be boring.
Collingwood fans can celebrate that all they like, and that's
No, it's
up
an
to them.
AFL thing, mate. This is the competition, Gilly. It's a
Yeah, I don't
competition
know.
record.
I'm just not that impressed by it, I guess.
Well, look.
Look,
I'm-
I'm not that impressed either. I'm happy for him.
Hey, that's
I think
fine.
it's awesome that it's happening on Anzac Day, but you don't need to stop the game to give him a round of applause. And that's not possible.
Let me make
So-
it clear. Not stopping the game just as he's got in the disposal. Stopping the game when the next breaking play happens, if there's a behind, if it goes out for a throw-in, if it's a ball up, that's when stop clapping.
So are you going to go to the game?
Maybe. I don't know if I'll go to the game.
'Cause
But
if you're
I'm
there-
if I'm watching on the couch or if I'm at the game, I'll clap.
Do you think Scott Pendlebury
I might not clap in the lounge room, but I want to see people
Do you
clapping,
think
celebrating him.
Scott Pendlebury deliberately didn't get so many touches last week so that he could get the 10,000th on Anzac
Nah,
Day?
because he
And
got
if
about
so-
Nathan. He got about 18, didn't he?
And if
18, but he had a sore rib, so
Oh yeah.
interesting,
they subbed him out for a rib.
They
interesting.
subbed him out.
They subbed him out with a sore rib that coincidentally is going to be fine for Anzac Day. So potentially,
No,
just,
he came back for the game.
Now we're getting deep into some conspiracy theories, but
Yeah.
I think
and
there's other topics
it would
to
be
get
so
onto.
fitting for Collingwood to do that and take the attention off the diggers that we're commemorating on Anzac Day as well.
Well, we can commemorate.
Well, that's-
we can commemorate them, and we can celebrate a great achievement in the game that's never.
I
been
just
done
think
before.
it's for Collingwood. I think that's an example of just real tone deafness.
Hey, well, no.
Oh, look,
No,
look,
so you're saying that people can't
this is-
celebrate a goal on Anzac Day because it's Anzac Day?
No, I
What
think
are you
it's
saying?
up for discussion.
Hold on. Now look. I want to be. Can I give my opinion here? Can I give my opinion
Yeah.
here? Because look, Anzac Day is one of my favourite and most important days of the year because I really, really respect everything that the Anzacs did for us and for this country. No, I'm serious now. I'm actually serious.
Yeah, me too.
And I love going to Anzac services, and I've got nothing but utmost respect for the Anzacs and all soldiers in all wars that have given their lives so
Absolutely.
that we can live here. But what Charlie's saying here is
All soldiers-
seriously ridiculous.
All
No,
soldiers,
we know he's being ridiculous, but hey, let's not waste
all
time.
soldiers in all wars.
Mate, if you want
All
to
soldiers in all wars.
if you want to look, do you really want to pull me up on this?
Well, you've just gone on a bizarre militaristic tangent in the middle of an AFL podcast, so I feel like it's worth investigation.
Okay,
Hey,
look,
hey,
look.
it's
Yes,
a
I do.
good
Yes, I do have respect.
Okay.
For all of them.
Okay.
Yes,
No, fair
because
enough.
it's a very, very.
I
tough
respect the
thing,
Anzacs
and-
as well, which is why I
and
think
us-
it's very selfish of Pendlebury and the Magpies to steal their limelight on Anzac Day.
No, and okay. Let me get to my point, which is this is a very serious conspiracy theory from you. Like, do you seriously think they subbed him off so that they could actually just celebrate the 10,000?
I think it would be very.
not the week before.
I think it would be very fitting of Collingwood to do such a thing. And I'm not saying I have a problem with it. I'm just saying it's.
I think this is just an unbelievable conspiracy theory, and now you're calling them tone deaf because they're not. They're taking the attention away from the Anzacs. I mean, first of all, you can celebrate both, but to think that they did this deliberately is just so far fetched. This is far fetched even for you.
Okay, hey guys,
I
all I'll
agree.
say is I'm going to clip this up. I'm calling for it at the next breaking play after Scott Pendlebury's picked up his 10,000th disposal, which hopefully happens on Anzac Day, the next game he plays. The next breaking play, a round of applause for a legend of the game, a champion, which doesn't come around too often. You celebrate these people; they deserve the respect. Never in the game's history has a player passed 10,000 disposals. It's a big moment. And I'm happy for you to disagree, which you guys do. And there's going to be people out there, I'm going to clip this up, they're going to disagree in the comments, and they're going to disagree, they won't like it, and they'll drop in their comments. And we love comments, don't we?
Get
do.
stuck into Maxi. I promise you. Get stuck
do.
into
We
him.
love
He
our
loves it.
comments. And what's his name,
I think
Connor?
we got to do.
We're going to talk about the comments.
Oh
that we've been
no, we got to
getting.
do a segment where we talk about some of the
Well, we're
comments
doing it
because
now.
BigDoggaFlogga, I love your work, mate. I really love your work, whoever you are. Getting stuck into Charlie, and you know what? I think this week, he's missed his nightlight again. So,
Hey, the reason I've got a nightlight on is because I'm worried BigDoggaFlogga is going to walk up the stairs and into my room. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Look, I'm dying to know who BigDoggaFlogga is, but we got a few other comments coming in as
Yeah.
well. Someone said that they love Charlie and I going at each other.
Yep, that was
as
Percy
well. So
Belondo.
unfortunately, that's coming to an end soon.
Yeah, you'll be off,
actually,
Connor.
yeah,
You'll be off, mate. Sad.
I'm heading overseas for a little while, but I will be back come
Yeah.
finals time. So
Great news for the listeners.
oh mate, come on. No, I reckon we might do a little call up segment where I come on and discuss a few things,
Yeah.
whether it's live or pre-recorded. So.
Yeah. We'll see.
Just kind of is that your idea?
No, he told me to do that
Okay,
before the show.
nice.
All right, next.
Some of the comments, I'm reading a few of them now, and they're just hilarious. Did Charlie change his nightlight this week? BigDoggaFlogga.
No, but we had a bloke on TikTok accuse Max of wearing a Salvo suit, a $10 Salvo suit on TikTok for likes, and I can confirm that is the case. So,
Mate, that's Luca's suit jacket that I'm borrowing, which he
Throw
may
him
have
under the
got from the
bus.
Salvos.
Yeah.
I'm
True.
not sure.
Oh yeah, I know. It's a little bit hypocritical hearing had to talk about players with bad decision making when he's got $10 Salvo suits and he's wearing Guzman y Gomez branded socks. At the moment.
Yes, he is wearing his Guzman Gomez socks tonight. So I love it. I'm a fan of it. So anyway, Max, the next thing.
Yeah. Well, can we just get one more BigDoggaFlogga comment in?
Yeah.
Spot on, Maxie. Charlie sleeps with the light on and kisses his dad on the lips. Oh, probably shouldn't have read that out. That's actually one of his poorer comments. Yeah.
That was his first one, I believe. But he's on a little tear at the moment. But we can confirm that is true as well.
I probably
Charlie,
should have read that comment before I read it out. But anyway, let's move on.
Look, there's nothing wrong with kissing your dad on the lips, is there, Charlie?
I'm not sure. Maybe we should ask your father.
All right, boys.
Well played.
Yeah. Well, what else am I going to talk about? What else? Well, let's get the Jesse Hogan. He pushed someone on the face, and it was an incident.
Mate, this wasn't a push. This was a punch to me. This is a strike.
Well,
and
Charlie,
this
have you
needs to-
seen it?
I've seen it. I saw it
All
live.
right, great. Well,
Yeah, it was a
I haven't
punch.
seen it, so Connor, tell us about it.
This is a strike, and how many weeks did he get for this? He got
One.
one, didn't he? And I think
one
he,
match suspension.
I
Yep.
think he deserves a little bit more. Whether
Like-
it's 2 or 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at it now, and he barely gets him in the face. To be honest,
Yeah, we've got the footage in front of us here.
I don't. If that was 2 weeks,
That's-
Connor,
Nah.
if that was 2 weeks,
That's certainly
I'd
not
be
a
very
push.
disappointed.
That's
That's not a 2 weeks.
That's a strike. That's a punch there, and you got to
it
pay
wasn't a
2
strike. He
weeks for
tried
that.
to knock his hands down.
Nah, you can see he clearly, he left hooks him in the face. Serious.
No, that's far from how I view it. Far from it.
What do you think happened?
Well, Lewis Young was getting into him, and Jesse Hogan was pretty much protecting himself.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Well,
is pretty stupid.
Well, from this video,
Show us the video you're
from
watching.
this
'cause
video,
That is the most
you-
ridiculous
can I
thing
see
I've
this
heard.
again? Nathan,
no,
thank
Charlie,
you.
it's
Let's have a look here.
It's a starting 666. And
gonna show you how
Lewis
this
Young. No, listen to me. Lewis Young has cornered Jesse Hogan into the corner of the square. So clearly, Lewis Young has been getting into it.
So you think it's like a boxing ring, like
Well,
the
are
square?
you just gonna allow? Well, it is Gilly because that's where you have to start. You can't go out of there. So he's been cornered. He's been cornered.
This is
Is
2
he just
weeks.
No.
This is 2 weeks,
Well-
without a doubt, if not 3. He's
Josh,
got a
what do you
closed fist in the face. He's got a closed fist in the face. That's never been allowed.
Well, guess what? The review panel
Mate.
agree with me.
He.
Look, I don't really know about 1 week or 2 week. I don't have
What
an
re-
opinion on it. It's just to think that he was protecting himself, like he left hooks him in the face.
Well, what else is there to talk about this week, boys?
There's a Toby Green incident
is gonna
as
be
well.
Out for a while. He's looking at 3 to 4 weeks.
What?
Really?
Yeah, it was
many?
It was a bub.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
saw
he's
it. I
not.
saw it. I was watching it
Didn't he-
live,
what-
but 3 to 4 is a fair bit for that. I would have thought.
He
I don't
got
think it-
delivered a week, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think it's going
Really?
to get more than I don't know what he got, but I wouldn't have given him anything.
Nathan,
I
see,
reckon,
he got a
but
week. didn't
one,
he?
maybe.
See, in that tweet, it says it.
Yeah, I don't
but-
know. Jordan Boyd though played a fantastic game.
Yeah, Toby Green, 1 match.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
that's a terrible
Yeah.
call again from you, Max. You thought 3 to 4 for that.
Well, I haven't gone
Give
through-
me a break.
There's a grading.
Seriously.
There's a grading chart, and it's minimal, it's intentional or careless, and then it goes into these different categories. So,
Wasn't careless.
Yeah, let's have a look right here again for our listeners as well.
Are our listeners really going to see
Yeah,
through the
well-
phone
No, they're
screen?
not.
some of,
No,
our,
they're
some,
not, but-
some of our listeners
but
are
the
watching
thing
on
is-
YouTube. So
Very
The
poor
thing is
media
that-
management
thing
by the
is that
man to my
Max is
left.
too lazy to actually overlay the footage. So
All right, can we just temper the criticism of our host? I feel like you're going a little bit too hard at him.
no, you're right. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, mate. It's fine. Oh, we are.
Can you take it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All
No,
right.
don't worry.
No, I'm sorry, mate.
Mate,
I'm sorry. I'll keep it.
I've got guys like BigDoggaFlogga coming at me on a daily basis.
No, well, I'll keep it pointed towards Charlie Gill instead.
Well, guys, that wraps it up. That wraps it up for the week. It's been a good show. What do we think?
Oh, mate, I had fun. I feel like there's still more that we could talk for hours here. There's a little bit to discuss.
I feel like we'll be talking in the car park a little bit.
Mate, I feel like we'll be doing more than talking.
That was what was I implying? Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to find out.
Well, we'll give you an
I said,
update
yeah, okay,
in
yeah.
our next episode. Make sure you tune in. Get around us. Thanks for everyone that has got around us.
Can I just say one thing? It's that one of the criticisms I've received from the podcast so far is that we're a little bit too self-congratulatory.
Oh, don't say where. Come on. Say it who it is.
I don't know.
Me.
It's probably maybe Hatza, but I mean, fair enough. You've
Yeah, but
done this all
we
yourself.
don't plug the show. We don't.
No, I know, but just on the show as we sort of talk about us. But you know what? It's true. Maybe we, get around us. I guess we're here. We're talking about footy and Max Hatzoglou. Hats off to you as always.
Well,
and,
mate, you've
No, look, I say
brought it up,
look,
and my hot tips have been fantastic.
leave your comments whether they're
Well-
positive or negative. We enjoy reading them. Have a bit of a
yeah,
laugh, and
I prefer reading the positive ones. But BigDoggaFlogga,
and I'm sorry that you've had to.
my heart, I pray for you. I pray for you.
And I'm sorry that you've had to put up with my ugly face for the last few weeks. I'm out of here, like I said, for a little while,
You are,
and
mate.
it'll just be Charlie Gill and Max, and maybe a third member as well. So
Well, you'll be back for our next. We're going to preview round 7, so you'll be around.
That's
for that.
right. I'll be around for that.
So
right
that'll
after
be your
this.
last show. Then you're off, mate.
That's right.
I cannot wait. Oh, I'm only kidding. Nah, it's going to be sad to lose you, mate. It's going to be really sad.
Oh, mate, I'll still be with you in my heart.
You haven't said that to Charlie, though.
Nah, absolutely not. We've got some
Nothing I
we've
can
got
do
some
about that.
serious steak cooking up between the two of us.
You'll
so
handle it outside.
we will, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe inside as well, but yeah, we'll see.
Beautiful. All right. That's a wrap. Great show. Thanks to the live audience, Josh Bayless and Luke Augusti. As always, Nathan is a ripper. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
helping us
Nathan.
out.
Thank
And
you,
that's
Nathan.
a wrap.
Thanks, Nate.
Cheers.